Dr. Rowley had made about responsibility and accountability. We have had situations of people being in responsible positions, but were not accountable, were not called to account for some of the decisions they made. And in that sort of scenario, it is easy for somebody to deflect monies away from the community and into their own pockets. In every other country, perhaps those words of Truman would be very much current and applicable. In Trinidad and Tobago, under certain governments, they are not. But I can tell you that I rely very heavily on the responsibility and accountability that Dr. Rowley has been able to instill in the PNM, and I would be very shocked if somebody tells me that the PNM is corrupt. They have not had a lot of resources to carry out some of the development programs that they would have liked to, but I think they have done very well in the period between 2015 and 2020. And when we look around, I mean, not a single public servant has been sent home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have had situations where people, because of the COVID situation, they have been without jobs, they have been given grants, and a lot of this money, people are saying, well, the government always had money. A lot of the money has been borrowed and will have to be paid back. Kamala had a way of canceling contracts. You know? She also had a way of encouraging contracts. In fact, there was a contract mill that was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And people forget these things. People were hurriedly drawing up contracts to justify the money that they were paid for doing nothing.
And first they were hurriedly doing that.
Yeah.
They end up doing like one contract 3-4 times.
Yes.
You seen that one contract only popping up 3-4 times.
And the EMBD, all these agencies, I mean, they were hotbeds of corruption. People forget that. Are you willing to bring this thing back to Trinidad to eat like a cancer into the economy of this country?
And Mr. Pilgrim, do not forget the resume of some persons.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
They went in a back room and come up with a resume in 2 minutes. You know, some of them never even passed high school, and they are director of this and director of that, and principal of this and principal of that.
They had degree in all forms and fashion.
Don't forget live sport, where you're doing the same thing to young black people, promising them things. And live sport became a criminal enterprise where murder was the order of the day. That is what we want. The investigation is still going on, I understand, Mr. Chance.
Yes.
You know? Don't forget the man who was paid millions of dollars to teach the poor black children. He didn't teach them either A, B, or C. He collected his money and he said he's not going to pay it back.
He taught
We
them.
have had, listen.
He taught them how to collect money for doing nothing.
Yeah, we have had possibly every example that any community of people can have about how not to run a country when the UNC was in power.
Was it a time, Mr. Pilgrim? I remember the Prime Minister giving an address at the opening of the Curb Interchange, and he spoke about a statement being made, it is our time to eat. You heard about that? Yes, the Prime Minister was